Ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again to the Slow Burn Pro Wrestling Podcast, where all professional wrestling storylines live. As always, I am your host, Matt Brandon, bringing you all professional wrestling's news, notes, innuendos, and whatever else you can come up with in the world of professional wrestling. Happy Saturday, everybody. The weekend is upon us. So much to do. For me, so much to do. There's a house, which means a lot of it is my father-in-law so much to do because he's the greatest handyman of all time. But regardless, what we're dealing with on this Saturday is kind of a normal Saturday. All right, we have no pay-per-views, no PLEs tonight. I may watch a little. I think there's some New Japan stuff on Triller, so I may check that out later. But we're back to Collision on a Saturday, so that's good. The other thing that we're dealing with here is no Saturday short from the Slow Burn. Right? I told you guys yesterday. I made the decision. I went into this whole thing thinking, every Saturday I do a Saturday short. We do like 10 or 15 minutes, focus on like a Mount Rushmore of some sort, focus on like some rankings or a story or something. Over time, the way the show has developed, it's become a show of recaps and a show of foreshadowing, of previews. We don't really have, and I throw some of that personal flavor in there. I've got a few Mount Rushmores, which I know we need to get to one soon. I said we're going to do the Mount Rushmores of talkers, which I want to get to. Hopefully, I'll have time to get to that tomorrow. I think we will. Matter of fact, I need to go ahead and put that down on the talkers, just like that. All right, so we're going to get to some stuff like that, but for the most part, you know how the show's format is. I go a 30-minute segment. We try to go on Tuesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays, Sundays, right? So we got a lot of stuff going on, a lot of content, because there's a lot of wrestling out there. And I like the format that we've kind of taken on ourselves. So with that said, it's good to be here on a normal Tuesday. What the hell am I talking about? It's good to be here on a normal Saturday. It's never normal at my house, trust me. And we got a lot to talk about because of SmackDown. And this was one of the things that pushed me to get rid of the Saturday short concept anyway, was because Friday Night SmackDown is one of the biggest nights of wrestling per week. I need to dedicate a show to it just like we do for our other stuff, Tuesdays we dedicate to Raw. Thursdays we dedicate to Dynamite. The Friday show has been dedicated to Impact for the most part. Saturday show dedicated to SmackDown. Sunday show dedicated to Collision. So, it all makes sense the way we're doing it. So I'm liking this new style. So I hope you guys are too. All 9 of you, and I may have lost somebody in the last. I know I've made some people mad recently, and that's okay. I think my Goldberg stuff offended a few people. Oldberg. I don't care. I'm sorry. I want to grow this. By the way, we're over 400 followers on the Facebook machine. I want to grow that some more, guys. My goal was to be at 500 by the end of June. I don't think we're going to get to that, but I'm still shooting for it. So hopefully we can start spreading the word out. It takes sharing. It takes every like you give me helps. All right. So let's get that rolling. So with that said, a little bit to talk about. We got a lot to unpack, so to speak. All right. If you didn't watch SmackDown, wow. The show itself was up and down. I scored the show a B. It was up and down throughout, but my God, what we got. By the way, I don't know if you noticed, I know I have been very vocal of the fact that I bought my first Cena shirt just recently, my last real champion. All right, you know what you're thinking. Well, I'm wearing this today. I am wearing this because of last night. He deserved the props. But you're probably thinking, where the hell did you get another Cena shirt? All right, here's what happened. So yesterday, I attend this wrestling. It was basically a wrestling yard sale type thing, swap meet kind of, not really. We'll call it a wrestling estate sale. All right, when you got too much stuff and you got to start getting rid of your stuff. I've been there. I get it. Anyway, I went in thinking I was going to get mainly memorabilia, but they had some of the most awesome shirts. So I got a couple throwbacks, so to speak. I know what you're thinking. Why the hell did you get a John Cena shirt? You've always said you're only John Cena shirts. Okay, agreed. I have said that. So here's what happened. All right, I find a few cool shirts that I want to get. Super excited to be able to advertise some of these coming up. couple of rarities that I haven't seen in a very long time. So that was exciting. But regardless, I had like 4 picked out that I'm going to get. All right, no big deal. 4 shirts. We're moving on. I put them on the rack, kind of started looking at a few other things, grabbed my clothes back off of the rack, and I go to check out. All right, I just hand him the stuff. Knew I had 4 shirts. Well, this shirt was supposed to be a Y2J Chris Jericho shirt. All right, that's what I thought I was getting. So, by the way, I gave the young fellow that was running this thing. I gave him one of the Slow Burn business cards. So if you happen to listen to this and you know I'm talking to you, if that Y2J shirt is still available, I want it. But I thought this was a Y2J shirt. Regardless, even though it wasn't even the same damn color, I just dumbassed it for a minute. So I ended up grabbing the John Cena shirt. Didn't realize it until I got home. And now I'm kind of glad that I got number one, it's in Lakers colors, so you know that's going to be cool with me. Number two, after last night, what the hell? Why not have another John Cena shirt? You know, who cares? So overall, it was an accident, but now it's a happy accident. So my dumbassery has turned into something positive. We'll take it. We're moving on. So let's go ahead and get to the nuts and bolts of last night. Friday Night SmackDown, live, Grand Rapids, Michigan. Very, very good crowd. They had some confusion at the end, which I get. I also had some confusion at the end, but the crowd was hot. And for the first time ever, first time ever, I shouldn't say that. For the first time in a long time, I felt that the SmackDown crowd was actually a very, very knowledgeable, solid, good wrestling crowd. So, booing where you should boo, yaying where you should yay, clapping where you should clap, and going to get concessions when you need to get concessions. That's what it's all about. So I was overall very, very pleased with this show. Again, I have heard that SmackDown is going back down to 2 hours after 4th of July. I hope that that's the case. I thought that 3 hours would be able to get us more action, be able to get more people TV time, things of that sort. It just, I don't know. Last night felt like a lot of filler. It felt like a lot of filler and very little thriller. But the thriller that we did get was freaking top notch. So I don't know. I guess you could look at it in either way. So I want to start. You guys, I like to go in the order of the show most of the time, unless something really, really hits. Well, last night something really, really hit. So as I say here, I'm going to start with some Cena stuff. Okay, I want to start directly with what we had out of our main event. Okay, we knew what we were getting. We were getting John Cena versus Ron Killings, aka R-Truth. Truth had made a couple other appearances during the show. Almost showing like this unhinged version, this violent, unhinged version of Ron Killings. I liked that a lot. Um, but the match itself it was just meh. It was violent. It was hard hitting at times. But the match itself it was just okay. And um, what came after is what made it all happen. I put in here the title shot to the head. All right, we get it. That's your thing. So here's how this all goes down. They trade some blows, decent little bit of wrestling as far as what we're going to get. I thought Truth looked very aggressive again, which was adding more to this new character that he's got going on. So I enjoyed that. I enjoyed the violence part of the match. Very little technicality, which honestly, I didn't feel like we were going to get a technical wrestling match here. I didn't think we were going to get a whole lot of catch wrestling when it come to this match. R-Truth wanted to beat the hell out of John Cena. I get it. So that part was really good. I liked Cena pulling. He's really doing a great job doing old school heel. I'm quitting. I'm done. Fuck this match. I'm done with it. And that's it. He's walking to the freaking locker room. And that's when things kind of cleared up a little bit. Cena loses the match. R-Truth wins. Ron Killings wins via disqualification because, like I said here in my note, all right, title shot to the head. I get it. It's kind of your thing. All right. Kick to the balls. I get it. It's kind of your thing. So we get that. Cena freaking knocks the hell out of Truth. Truth goes down. Out comes people. But Cena's ready. It's on. It's over. He's going to beat the piss out of R-Truth. How dare you and come and try to even think you're on my level, right? That's the kind of impression I was getting out of Cena. It didn't take long, and CM Punk's music hits, right? And okay. here we go. It's on. And I liked it was an aggression hit. And then they get in the match and Cena gets the upper hand for a little bit. All right. They're going at it. There was a few shots that looked like they slipped through, right? And here we go. Then Punk starts getting the upper hand, and here we go again. Heel Cena. Here's your kick to the balls, right? Again, kick to the balls, title shot to the head, boom. I actually wrote this down how it went. All right. We had kick to the balls, two title shots to the head, and then the AA through the table. CM Punk might have been dead. All right. CM Punk might have been dead. And you know what? I was okay with that because I thought that Cena has he's done a really good job as the chicken shit heel. He's taken the bumps. He's been the last guy left laying in the match. I mean, hell, not too long ago, Money in the Bank, Cody left him. He took him for the pin. That's something that you don't see a lot of out of your champion all the time. But with Cena, we're getting that. So I enjoyed the fact that they let him come out on top here. Then came what I was not quite ready for. All right, and I'm just going to call it exactly what it is. It was the Cena pipe bomb. We know that. If you don't know the CM Punk pipe bomb promo, go back, do yourself a little history review, and check out how CM Punk handled the original CM Punk pipe bomb. All right, that promo to me is the greatest promo of all time. They're at least up there very, very high. It's hard to rank promos. It really is. But that's the one that, it punches me in the gut every single time. It's just spot on. And who was left laying through a table in the ring while Punk was talking about this? John Cena, right? And it might have been this era Cena, actually, which is kind of cool. But John Cena left. So you get the Cena pipe bomb. It was great. Cena was awesome. I loved it. I will say this, and I put this in my notes. The Cena delivery was different. It wasn't the same. I will say, Punk's took place at the top of the ramp. He sits down Indian fashion, all right, as we call it in Deloge Elementary. You know what I'm talking about, people. Crisscross applesauce is how he did it at the top of the ramp. Cena does it from the turnbuckle, right? He's sitting on the top rope, but the cameraman did such a great job at looking up at Cena. I thought that really told the story, and you kind of see CM Punk in the side view, and Punk's not moving except for maybe like some facial reactions that he's getting because he's dying. So roles reversed, but Cena's was different. Now I keep hearing and seeing online, some of the dirt sheets have brought this up too. Whose was better? Which pipe bomb was better? Well, first off, Punk's was better because Punk's was the original, right? It's like saying, okay, the Monkees were pretty good, but they were kind of put into place to be like the Beatles. So even though no one's better than the Beatles, but you know what I'm saying? Like that, the original is always going to ring true. All right, especially if you were older during the original. I think that it'll definitely ring true for you. However, what do they say? Imitation is the best form of flattery. That to me was a great. I said it on somebody's post earlier. I think it might have been Cruising with Kayfabe, where I said it was like a really good cover song that was given its own twist. That's how I look at that. One of my favorite cover songs in the world is "Hungry Like the Wolf" by Real Big Fish. It sounds nothing like "Hungry Like the Wolf" by Duran Duran, but the lyrics are the same, the beat's kind of the same, the rhythm's kind of the same, but you got horns and fast guitars, and you see what I'm saying. That's how I look at this. A really good cover song that took its own path. Well freaking done. All right. And Punk, he took it. Because that's what you do, man. That's how you make money. Some of that shit was personal. All right. Some of that shit cut deep. And being Punk, that stuff is not something that you're going to just completely forget. But that's where you add to the story. That's where you make this become very, very real. All right. And that's what I got out of that. And I truly thought it was amazing. Some of the lines that really hit, uh, obviously the names that got mentioned, right? When Cena threw it at him, and that's a throwback to the Punk stuff, Punk using Colt Cabana. I think immediately Cena goes to Claudio Castagnoli, CCCC, right? I love that. Also using Claudio's name rather than Cesaro, which was his WWE name. Thought that was awesome. Nick Nemeth, love Nick, big up. Busted open for life. But Nick Nemeth, not saying Dolph Ziggler. Nick's doing great work right now in TNA, tag team champion. Who else did he say? Let's see, Nick Nemeth, Claudio Castagnoli, and there was one more. He dropped one more. Anyway, it don't matter. The whole thing of is like, wow. As soon as those names started, and I thought, holy shit. I already knew this was like his own pipe bomb, but I didn't know we were going to punch this low. And I thought it was perfect. I don't mean that in a negative manner either. I'm talking about that punching as low as possible in the most positive possible way. That's what I'm talking about. Some of the other lines, I thought that Cena said, Punk, you change values more than I change t-shirts. I thought that was really, because you guys know Cena has been a merch hound forever, t-shirt after t-shirt. I've bought 1,000,000 of them for my kid. Now I got 2 of them for myself. But like that worked. I thought that it was great when he said, "You're a millionaire despite yourself." All right, saying you can't claim to be a man of the people. You're not the voice of the voiceless. You're a millionaire despite yourself. All right, man, oh man. If there was any way to kick CM Punk in the nuts harder, that's exactly the line you used there. All right. Now, is there truth into it? Maybe on certain levels, maybe not on certain levels. Maybe it's the biggest dig you could possibly do, or maybe it's the biggest dig you could possibly do with a lot of realism in it. All right. It just is what it is. My favorite line that he gave, though, was remember who gave you that stage. He even references the pipe bomb. Remember who gave you that stage. Basically saying you wouldn't have been able to drop your famous pipe bomb if it wasn't for me. So sit back, chill. I'm going to kick your ass. And this is the way it's going to be. And I thought that was great. Cena's delivery changed, right? He became very snarky Cena with a little bit of heel still in him, but there was also some remnants of old school Cena with the smiles and the smirks. I thought that was really good. And that's where things got a little bit weird, which was the best part of this whole thing. All right. The crowd. The crowd got weird, right? They were booing the hell out of Cena. They were doing exactly what they were supposed to do. But then as this promo grew, as Cena's facial expressions changed, as they realized what in the actual hell was going on right there, the whole freaking crowd flipped. You started hearing people cheering. And it started slow. It started kind of slight. Like, wait a minute, should I be doing that? And that's the exact same way I was in my recliner. It was like, holy shit. Oh, okay. And that's how I felt the crowd did last night. And it just gave more just goomph to that whole piece, to the whole thing. Awesome. Awesome. I have seen like where some people are down on it. I've seen where some people are up on it. I can't be down on it at all. And, there's no secret of the fact that CM Punk is one of my favorites of all time. I think there's no one better on the mic. He spits venom. If anyone gets close, it's probably Cena, especially after last night, right? But as far as in the ring, I've been a Punk guy since day one. I have, and not a Cena guy. But yet, I could sit back and take that last night as a pro, right? You do that, they're making money. It was beautiful. It was a wonderful twist to the story. I believe they sped this storyline up for Night of Champions. Originally, I kind of thought it would be SummerSlam, but they've sped it up a little bit. Maybe that means they stretch it out some too. But regardless, like the whole thing, it was like, all right, we've got to do something big here to make this thing completely work. And now here we are a week away from Night of Champions, and I cannot freaking wait for this match. I cannot wait for CM Punk versus John Cena. I don't think Punk's going over. I hope he does. Obviously, I hope he does. But if it leads to more of this, if it leads more of this story, let's just call it what it is. Cena has had these lineups since he's been champion. We've dealt with Cody. We had the little R-Truth stuff. we had the Randy Orton stuff, right? This is the one I want. So if we're going to make one longer, he's got 6 months left, right? If we're going to spread one out for a month or two, this is the one I want it to be. I want it to be Punk. So, well done. Totally ruled this episode. This episode's not a B if it's not for this segment, right? And again, I know I went out of order, so we'll get things back on track here. The real opener was LA Knight. All right. And do you kind of feel like maybe LA Knight's being pushed down our throats just a little bit? I don't know why I feel that way. It almost feels like he's being thrust into a main event scene. Not that he doesn't deserve it. Hell, he's still over with the crowd. You could tell that last night. Some of the loudest pops came from LA Knight. It didn't hurt that some of that shit was directed at Paul Heyman, but which I'm going to get to something on that too. But I don't know. I just feel weird that like a year and a half ago, LA Knight was so red hot, and I kept saying, "When are we going to push this guy?" Maybe even 2 years ago. When are we going to push this guy? When is this going to actually pay off? Now I feel like we've still gotten the same thing. He had a U.S. championship run. It was fairly lame. I mean, I thought it could have been much better. I think Jacob Fatu's is already better. Hell, I don't know if Shinsuke's wasn't better, to be honest with you. But regardless, it's kind of like we didn't strike while the iron is hot, and now they're trying to make up for lost time. So I feel like it's kind of being thrust into our faces a little bit. And I'm okay with it. I am okay with it. It's just, let's be honest, guys. We know in this world there's only room for so many main eventers, right? There's only so many shows, and I am not exactly sure where LA Knight fits in with this whole thing. And maybe it's going to grow. Maybe we'll see, or maybe we see this splinter off with the Bronson Reed stuff like we saw last night. I don't know, but regardless, the whole thing was just, I don't know. It was good. It was a solid piece. The promos back and forth were good, but I feel like I'm being force fed just a tad. Also, the whole thing here for the opener sets up LA Knight versus Bronson Reed, which is going to come later on in the card. Heyman was interesting. Heyman got booed, right? And normally when you hear "ladies and gentlemen," and then we get the crowd saying, "My name is Paul Heyman," blah blah blah. This time he gets his spiel in, and the crowd went after him, and Heyman ate it up. This is when Paul Heyman is at his best, when he is truly being hated. And right now, this is what's going to take this group, the future, back over the top of being that ultimate heel group. It just is. So well done. Thank goodness we've got to that point now. The next city we're at, which for SmackDown will be in Riyadh in Saudi Arabia, but I'm okay with it. I'm okay. I can't wait to see this grow. Seth's going to be waiting in the wings. You know, we kind of thought we were going to see Seth last night make that special appearance on SmackDown, but we didn't. So, you know, we did have a couple really big matches scheduled for last night. They are Queen of the Ring and King of the Ring semifinals. For the Queen of the Ring, we had Asuka versus Alexa Bliss. I said yesterday I thought Alexa would go over. I missed this. Asuka goes over, and all I could think was, is interesting. Very interesting. Asuka gets back, and we're really throwing her right back into this main title picture. It just seems a little odd considering all the storytelling that's been done prior to this. It's like, all right, we're gonna throw Asuka in there, who's been on the shelf, no fault of her own, and Alexa, who's was out and brought back and then kind of caught fire. Like, I don't know. But then you see the Alexa Charlotte interactions. So there's a little bit left there. So I'm okay with how that goes. But at the same time, it was just, I don't know. Maybe I'm just pissed off that I missed it. I will say this: my wife got this one right. She said she thought Asuka was going to take this one, and she got it. So sometimes it happens. All right. That brought us in the Cody promo, or lack thereof, Cody promo. Out comes Cody. Music hits. I'm excited. I'm ready to hear what Cody's got to say. It was nice to see Cody in a suit again. He'd been showing up in ass-kicking clothes. Cody's getting ready to talk, and then you hear, "It's on me now, oof." And we're yeeting all over the place. Grand Rapids was a hell of a yeet off. Comes out, and then we run it again, and we yeet a little bit more. 4 letters, 1 word. Yeet. And then comes Sammy, right? Sami Zayn then comes out, and then here comes Randy, and then here comes R-Truth. Like, the whole thing was just weird. And Cody never got to talk. Cody never got to talk. So the Cody promo, or lack thereof, it just came off weird, right? But then we had a hell of a match. Randy and Sammy, another semifinal match. Winner goes to the King of the Ring final. Randy looking for back-to-back King of the Ring finals. Last year, he lost the King of the Ring to Gunther. I'll be honest with you. I love Randy. STL for life, baby. Cowboy Bob Orton, one of my all-time favorites. I wanted Sammy to win this match. I love this Sammy story. Sammy's never been he's the ultimate underdog. He's never been champion. He's scrounging from the bottom. The guy takes a beating night in, night out. It's just really easy to get behind Sami Zayn. And at the same time, also knowing that this is going to be taking place in Saudi Arabia. And it's like, man, Sami Zayn, a practicing Muslim who always puts on a show in Saudi Arabia, you have this opportunity to kind of get this done. It makes me realize that we're going to get Randy Cody. We got Cody and Jay going to go Monday night. Thanks to that non-promo, we really got a lot out of that, right? But we got Cody and Jay. It makes me think that Cody's definitely going over there. So it kind of takes away a little bit of the intrigue. The match was great. The Sammy Randy match was great. Randy can still go, man. At his age, just and the injuries that he's went through, there's still, once he gets rolling in the ring and that they hit that flow, there's still very few that can do what Randy Orton can do. And you put him with a guy like Sami Zayn, who's a damn artist in the ring. I mean, the match was absolute gold. Didn't quite agree with the finish, but the finish was good, so we'll take it. All right. So we got Orton. He's going to be in the final. We know that. I think it'll be against Cody. Who will Alexa be going against? Or not Alexa. Who will Asuka be going against? We'll find out Monday night on Raw, right? We had a Nia Jax sighting. She destroyed Tiffany Stratton. Naomi comes down, gonna cash in. Nia then kind of gets into it. Naomi, are you smelling what I'm smelling? Is that a triple threat? Somebody smelling triple threat? Maybe. Or maybe we just see Naomi waiting to cash in. I loved her interaction with Nia. The laughing. She looks fucking evil right now, and I'm good with it. Charlotte went over Chelsea. This was the highlight of the night outside of the Cena promo. Freaking two ladies that can absolutely go in the ring. Perfect facial expressions, perfect selling. The whole match worked. I hate that Charlotte and Chelsea even had to be in it. They should be partners, right? That's what I'm saying. The animosity that ends up coming from this after the save is done. The Hervis comes in. They beat the hell out of Charlotte. Alexa Bliss comes down to make the save. And then the Charlotte Alexa stuff. They don't fight, but they don't shake hands, right? Alexa gives her the hand. Charlotte ghosts her, walks right, kind of big times her, so to speak. So I love that. So now we know exactly what direction we're probably going in here for Evolution when it comes to Alexa and Charlotte. We're getting some kind of interaction there. We shall see how it goes. All right. The last thing we want to talk about here, by the way, LA Knight went over Bronson Reed by disqualification. I loved the other thing was the U.S. title stuff, man. The Solo Jacob Fatu promo battle in the ring. Oh my God, I want this story to grow so much. I need to talk about this a little bit more tomorrow on the show. But Jacob Fatu challenging Solo. They're going to go at Night of Champions. Jeff Cobb comes in. I'm sorry, JC Mateo comes in, beats the hell out of Jacob for a little while. Big Jim tries to make the save. Are we going to get Jacob and Big Jim versus Solo and JC? I'm here for it. I'm totally here for it. Let's make it happen. So, again, overall, it's a B. Great show. Wrapping it fast. That's what we got to do. All right. Collision tonight, guys. What do we have on tap for Collision tonight? Tony Storm scheduled to speak. Not sure if Mercedes will be there. By the way, it's live from Seattle, Washington. Seattle's always a good AEW turnout. Usually a very good crowd. We got an all-star women's tag team match. Thunder Rosa. I'm reading this now. Queen Aminata, Tamello, and Anna Jay. They're taking on my girl Athena, Tekla, Megan Bain, and Penelope Ford. Anytime I get to see Athena on television, I'm happy. All right. Hopefully, I want to see some one-on-one stuff with Athena and Thunder Rosa. It's going to be absolutely fire. So we're getting Swerve Strickland versus Shane Taylor, and we're also going to get John Moxley defending the belt tonight against AR Fox. So big night of Collision of 7 o'clock on TNT tonight, back in its normal time. And we'll be back at our normal time on our normal day tomorrow on our Sunday edition of The Slow Burn. Right, and I can't wait to do it. We'll have our week in review tomorrow. Can't wait to see. Match of the week is going to be tough. Promo of the week, I think we got a pretty good idea, but we'll see. So we'll be back, Slow Burn Pro Wrestling Podcast, tomorrow on Sunday, where all the professional wrestling storylines live. And guys, remember, in this life, we are wrestling everything. So stay on top. Thanks for joining us here on the Slow Burn.